So in today's video, we're going to be going over the 7 most common email design mistakes that we see and how to avoid them. And so I actually have a full email design masterclass coming soon so that you can get the same results that we've been getting for our clients with your brand or with your clients' brands as well. And so this is a screenshot of one of our accounts where over the last, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, we've generated $1.2 million alone in just this brand's email revenue through campaigns and flows. And it's because of these designs that we're going to be going over today. And it's because we fixed the mistakes that we saw in these accounts that we're going to be going over. So before we get started, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Michael Rathman, and I run a marketing agency called AdSumo Digital. Why you should listen to me. So we're an e-commerce, email, and SMS marketing agency that has worked with over 10 plus e-commerce brands that do a combined total of $34.5 million a year in revenue in several different countries and selling over 45 different types of products that range from low AOV pet and health products to high AOV luxury handbags and even bulk whole food orders. And our services have led to an average increase of 87% in email revenue in just the first 90 days of working with our clients. I have some screenshots here of case studies from our website. So if you go to our website, you can check these out. This particular client got an extra $30,000 in revenue in the first 30 days. This client is averaging 53% of their revenue through email. This client went from 115,000 to 236,000. This client went from $4,800 per campaign to $27,000 per campaign in just 45 days. And that one had a major, the email designs had a major effect on that client's revenue right there. 121,000 to 248,000 in just 2 months. And the last one here is a client that we took from 88,000 a month to 114,000 a month in only 30 days through email marketing. So here's some of my links. If you want to follow me for the best content, the earliest access to guides, trainings, and stuff like this, go ahead and follow my news or subscribe to my newsletter, the D2C letters. Also check out some of our other YouTube videos. So our designs have generated over $2.2 million in sales in just the last few months for our clients' e-commerce brands. And they also look damn good. So here's just a few of them. Oops. If we just scroll through here, here's some of the designs that we are doing for our clients and how they look. And we're going to go over why they work and what in these emails are actually converting these clients' customers, potential customers, into actual customers that are paying. And so those are some of our designs. So let's get into why this is important. So in 2024, there are more e-commerce brands than ever, and every one of those brands understands the important the important role that email marketing plays in scaling profitably. So naturally, consumers are receiving more emails than they ever have before, which means that simply sending emails to your email list is not enough to get you to stand out from the crowd. And so back in the day, you could just send emails and generate sales like crazy, but now you need to stand out in the inbox because they're receiving so many emails. So most of the brands will be using the same pre-built templates from Klaviyo, so they don't stand a chance to compete if you are a little bit of a typo. If you are actually sending and leveraging high converting branded email designs like what I will be showing you today. So stay tuned for that so you can stand out in your customer's inbox and actually convert them into paying customers. So why design matters. So most brands think that they just can simply send out emails to the list and have a flow or two and that they're doing a great job with their email marketing. Maybe that worked back in 2018, but now every brand is sending emails. Consumers have started to expect brands to send emails. They're starting to expect to receive emails from the brands that they shop with. And with email having the potential to generate 20 to 40% of your brand's monthly revenue, it's not something you can afford to ignore. And so these are the 7 most common email design mistakes that we see after auditing over 30 plus brands, Klaviyo accounts, and going in and fixing up 10 plus of those brands and getting them from, anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20% in email revenue, upwards to 35, 45, and even 55% of their revenue coming through email. So number one, this is probably going to come as a surprise considering the entire guide and video is all about design, but the angle of the email has a bigger effect than the design of the email. So what do I mean by that? At the end of the day, The goal with my guides are to make your brand more sales and profit overnight, as long as you implement what I'm showing you, and to save you the hundreds of hours, the thousands of split tests that it took us and my team to learn these things. So when it comes to true performance of your emails, what we found is that simply just pretty emails don't sell. What sells your subscribers is the angle, the topic, the idea, and the concept behind the email itself. Once you have that, the design is what catches their attention, but the angle is what gets them excited to read long enough but to potentially click the email, head to your website, browse a product, and place an order. So some good examples of angles that are interesting and get people to pay attention and go ahead and click the emails and get to your site. So I guess I'll just zoom in this way. This was an email from Bubble. Summer is here, barbecue essentials. People love to kind of get looped into the season that's coming. Everybody's excited for summer. This is a bit too much text, to be honest, but they do a great job of showing a picture with some summer essentials. So it's like, oh, this is a cookout, and their sauces are right there on the table, and it shows what summer essentials they have that they offer that you could include in your next barbecue. So shop barbecue, you may also like these. So that's a good angle. Seasonal angles work really well. Another angle here is people love tips and guides. Looping them into products that you sell is a great way to get people to open and click your email. So this email from Blum, I don't know if I said that right. 3 essentials for barrier care and sun prep. And then it goes into the 3 essentials, the products. So a cleanser, a moisturizer, and some SPF sunscreen. And then it shows 3 products here as well that you can shop. The 3 products that they talk about up here, as well as including a little bit of a TikTok tag there. So that probably gets a lot of people's attention. I probably would have made that whole lot bigger. As seen on TikTok is one of those things that works well. TikTok made me buy it as a big hashtag right now that people can leverage. But those are 2 emails that have great angles that are interesting and also have catchy design. So this catches your eye as soon as you open the email, so that you actually read the rest of it. And so those are great examples. Number 2, the biggest mistake, or one of the second biggest mistake we see is unoptimized above the fold section. So aside from your angle actually being super important, this is probably the number one most important thing when it comes to the actual design itself. So the above the fold section, what is that? So aside from most emails not having fun or engaging angles, this mistake right here is the biggest killer of conversion rates. So the definition of the above the fold section is essentially the topmost part of your email that is seen before the reader scrolls. The mobile above the fold section is actually a little bit smaller than the desktop, so you got to make sure you're checking that. But this is an example here of me in my browser on my phone opening an email without scrolling. You see a subject line, who it's from, the unsubscribe, and then you have the above the fold section. So all the way down past the hero image, and then you get a little bit of a kind of sub headline here into the next part of the email. So that's what you see. That is what the above the fold section is. So why it matters so much. This part of the email is what 99% of your subscribers are actually going to see once they open, since most people do not actually scroll. If they do scroll, then you've done a good job in your above the fold section. And if most people scroll, then you're doing a great job. But odds are most people aren't scrolling your emails because your above the fold sections are unoptimized. So if this is what most people see, then it's the highest leverage section of your entire email. Without it, you're not going to get to the next step. So think about it this way. If you had a chance to advertise on a big screen in Times Square, New York City, but there was like a big ass McDonald's sign blocking the whole left side of your big screen that you're renting out, you'd likely spend most of your time and energy and money and resources focusing on the right side of your billboard, because it needs to be impactful enough to make up for the whole left side being blocked. And so once they open your email, you need to maximize these first 500 to 800 or so pixels of your email to do a few things, which we'll go over now. But think about it that way. So when you skip the above the fold section, you're essentially just not caring what most people see, and that's going to really kill your conversion. So what to include in your above the fold section? A great above the fold section, and we're going to go over some examples here in a second, but it needs to show a few things. It needs to do a few things. So you need to have a clear headline, a clear and clickable CTA button. Not every email needs one of those. If you're not pushing product super hard, maybe you can drop that. But I would recommend that 99% of your emails actually have a clickable CTA button above the fold. an eye-catching hero image, graphic, or visual, and a clear offer or value proposition, essentially saying why should they be clicking this email. So the goal here is to reduce friction for the reader and get your point across, basically telling them why they should click or read your email and why they should read more of it. This will increase your chances of getting them to either click right away or to go to your website and get interested enough to skim the rest of the email and click your website. So here are some examples of bad above the fold sections. And I did this on my mobile phone or my mobile device, my mobile phone. Here are some sections where the offer is really hard to see. It's not clear that this is 20% off. They also have personalization there, but you can barely read it. And this is a bit too low. I would probably put that offer up top above these random product images. And the CTA is just too small. The promo code is also barely readable. You probably couldn't even tell. I actually forgot it was there. It's almost hidden. It's under the button there. So that's an awful one. Here's another email. Nothing eye-catching about this hero image. There's no CTA. There's no value shown that makes me want to keep reading. Unroll your mat, unwind your mind. Why am I reading this? It just looks like some text. And this picture is kind of odd. So it just doesn't catch my eye. There's nothing there for me to want more from. This one, the logo is massive on mobile. This is a prime example of not being mobile optimized as well. Why put this here? All promotions are subject to, like, there's just no reason for that. You know, they don't even know that there's a promo going on. No CTA as well. And the offer isn't clear enough. So you have to read, you have to get down, to this part of the email before it's even noticeable that this is a sale. Subject line is way too long. Look how much room this takes up compared to, one of these other subject lines. So that's too long. The logo is also too big. It's not mobile optimized. There's no CTA button, and the offer isn't clear. I see that it's last chance, but what's last chance? What am I missing out on? Overall, it's just not made for mobile. I'm sure this is a great looking email, but it's just not made for mobile. Here are some good examples of above the fold sections. And so here is one where I guess I don't click it. So yeah, this it's a little bit big on the screen right now, but essentially, pleasure today, transformation tomorrow. There's some kind of benefit there. They show a really eye-catching visual, limited edition. I'm already intrigued because it's limited edition, and I just read these three, lines, these 4 words, I'm sorry, and I get a button right away. So there's not much going on here, which makes it simple, and it makes it easy for me to click and learn more, especially because this is very visual. Here's another above the fold section. Again, I don't show these emails because the rest of the email, because we're just talking about the above the fold, but feed them Mave. Anything less is less. Take 15% off your first order with code new friend. Shop now. So they got really nice copy here. I would take this top section off. I'd put a logo there, make it a little bit smaller. Same thing here. I'd take shop and science off. Shop and learn I take off, depending on where this email is being sent, but it looks like it's a welcome email. And then it's good that they have a button. I would make shop now a bit more bold and readable, but seems to be their style, so that's fine. And then it's got a nice image here, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the image kind of went into the rest of the product and showed some benefits there. So that's 2 examples of a great above the fold section. Here are 2 more. Very eye-catching imagery with the drink in the background, botanical alchemy, plant magic drinks for a social buzz, focus flow, nighttime chill out, and everything in between. So this tells you exactly why you would even want this product. It also gives you a code. This is a button, but it's not very clear that it's a button. So that is one downside of it. But this is a great way to use imagery and copy to intrigue them enough to read the rest of the email. And then the lentilful email here is a great example of pulling the reader straight into reading the email. So mix, match, and snack. Pair your favorite lentil flavors with something from your kitchen and make it even more delicious. So it pairs, what you might have in your pantry to a product that they sell here with a button down below. I would probably put a button up here that said mix and match, or maybe just gather your lentils. But this is a great example of getting somebody straight into reading your email and engaging with it. So the next part here is, we're zoomed in. Number three, the third most common mistake is poorly placed or unclear CTAs. So imagine this. This is how I always explain it. You're in a rush at the mall shopping for shoes. So you walk into a Foot Locker or whatever your favorite shoe store is, and you take a right because you always take a right. If you've ever noticed, when you go into the mall and you walk into a store, you always take a right. Try to notice that next time. That's why the clearance sections are always in the back left of the stores. But anyway, you find some shoes you like, you ask for them in your size. The Foot Locker employee says, I'll meet you over there at checkout, at the checkout register. So you're like, cool. You're walking around and you can't find it. You literally walk around for 3 to 5 minutes and you leave because you don't have all day. You're in a rush and you simply just couldn't find the cash register. Like, where's the checkout? Like, where did they go? Where do I go to pay for these shoes? This is what most of you are doing with your emails when you hide your CTAs, your cash registers from your customers. They need to be big, clickable, and clear. And you should stay away from putting them on the left-hand side of the emails because most people are holding their phones with their right hands so they can easily reach the center or right aligned CTAs. But here are some examples of CTAs that are really good. So the CTAs in this particular email, it's a nice email, but there's a lot going on. I like the magazine style, but these yellow CTAs down here don't stand out enough and don't catch my eye enough for me to like them. And they're also left aligned, which again isn't the biggest deal, but they need to be eye catching enough. And then on the right hand side here, this is a big clickable button. You can't miss it. They got another one here for shopping this particular shoe. And then they have a button here for shopping all restocks. And so you can't miss these buttons. And there's plenty of them. Go hands free. This is just prime example of clear clickable buttons, and they're bold and you can't miss them. So hopefully you see the difference there between these that kind of blend in with the contrast of the rest of the colors and the email and the hero section. So just bad example. No use of diagrams, visuals, or graphics. Let's face it, even before TikTok came out, most consumers had the attention span of a goldfish. However, with everyone and their grandmas on TikTok doom scrolling, the average person's attention span might very well be less than a second, and it probably is way less than a second. Think about the videos. People actually like have GTA like cars racing underneath the video, or like Subway Surfers, that iPhone game, under a video because they can't pay attention to the actual video they're watching. They have to watch 2 videos at the same time so they can pay attention. So combine that with most people's inability to actually understand topics without seeing something visual. It's never been more important in your marketing, and really any of your marketing, but specifically email marketing, to use graphics and eye-catching visuals or icons to grab the reader's attention so that you can see what your products are all about, so they can see what your products are all about. And so here's some examples of great visuals that really pull you in to the email and make you read it. So here's a meme, Mommy's Little Helper. Moms are the OG box wine drinkers. And then it goes into some copy that's pretty funny. But then this meme just pulls your attention straight into the email. 20% off, 4 packs, a little bit of a nice product display here. Shop now buttons are a little kind of interesting. But the meme is what's pulling your attention. And then you get some icons here. These icons probably could have been a lot more clear, but it seems to be their style. So that's fine. Yeah, that seems to be kind of their style. The dude, 2 people holding some wine glasses. And then this is one of my favorite emails of all time, the Sweet Kick email. I really like these linear timelines showing how you can use the products throughout your day. You instantly start like go low sugar with Sweet Kick, shop all products. You can use this product at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and you get into a shop now button here, and it really just pulls your eyes down the email. So think about it like a visual triangle, and that it pulls you straight into a CTA and then a review as well. So these are great visual emails, and you need to be using graphics. Think about it like you're creating infographics rather than emails that people read. Very few brands should be sending primarily plain text emails. Every brand should be sending some and utilizing them in certain flows and sometimes in certain campaigns, but people do not read, and very specific audiences are receptive of those. So you need to be using graphics and visuals a lot. So number 5, the email is not skimmable. If your email is not skimmable, people aren't going to read it. Simply put, most people do not read anymore. People are so high off that cheap dopamine TikToks that they can't consume anything that doesn't have crazy edits, cuts, visuals, or graphics. They can't even watch those videos anymore without having a Subway Surfer or GTA clip playing underneath the video. You know what I'm talking about. I just mentioned this earlier. So you need to have skimmable emails. The state of the consumer in 2024, zombie mode is what I call it, that the state people are in when they're scrolling their phone, and typically anything on their screen, but for this example, their inbox. So they're most likely clearing their notifications from their inbox down to zero, or they're specifically looking for something to buy from one of the brands that they're subscribed to. When they open your email, you've got less than 1 second to buy your next 2-3 seconds. And that's how you should think about it. Your hero section buys your next 2-3 seconds, and you have a second to convert them to that next 2-3 seconds. The last thing that will buy more of your reader's attention is giant blocks of text. It has to be skimmable. They have to be able to get the point across, the point of the email, what you're selling, and why they should click to check out the site. And that has to be done really in that above the fold section. And so how do you make your emails skimmable throughout the rest of the email, not including the above the fold section? You need to use headlines and subheadlines. Most people only read your headline, subheadline, and maybe your CTAs. You need to be using line breaks in white space to make it appear as there's less text. That's bad grammar. To make it appear as little text as possible. You also need to use clear sections and modules. So meaning people can clearly see what to look at next. You're utilizing that white space to break up each section of your email. You have the heroes section, you have the body section, you have the sections in between there that allows you to kind of, bridge the gap. We call them like transitions. And then you have the body, like I said, and then you have your footer there, and you have another transition in between. Sometimes you have a product highlight, sometimes you have a review block, but you need to make it clear. And then you need to be using visuals and graphics, like I just mentioned, to get your point across, like the point I made in email or example number 4. And so here are some bad examples and good examples of skimmable emails. So here on the left, it's just a lot going on. There's no subheadlines is the thing. And so I can't skim this. So this is how I read this. All about under eyes, join us, blah, 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 hosted by, okay, I don't know who you are. I'm not going to read that. Register today, learn more. What am I registering for? What am I learning about? What is this about? What do you guys sell? Micro needle eye patch is okay, but what's going on here? So that's how I'd read that email. That's how most people would probably read it a little less than that, to be honest. They'd click right off because there's nothing going on. Here's a good example. You can see each section and there's sub headlines. The spring sweet and sour pack. Fair weather calls for brighter flavors. Okay, it's spring. I like this image. Yes, please. Transition. They do just a white line break there, which isn't the worst thing. Pick this party on. Product images. I'm reading the names. Oh, I'm interested in what's this peach flavor? Oh, it's big bodied sour with it's a big bodied sour with big bursting flavor and bold. So they got some tongue-tied copy on there. Order your pack, and then they show into speaking of spring, April equals Earth Month. So this is a good email. I can read each section, I can follow along. Whereas this is just kind of a big blob of information that I don't want to consume. Number 6, too much going on per email. When auditing an account of a brand who is sending a few emails a month, I can almost guarantee that this is the issue I will find. What do I mean by that? Since the brand is emailing their list, that's a typo, emailing their list 2 times a month, they feel like they need to put a month's worth of content in each email. This leads to having 3 to 5 topics and graphics in the same email. They don't really ever use graphics. 3 to 5 topics in the same email, which kills the sales because it's confusing. It's like when a little kid runs up to you and he's all excited about their day at school and he's rambling off 15 things that just happened. You're like, whoa there, kid. Like, slow down. I can't keep up with the words you're saying. I'm a little confused. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. You're doing this, you're doing that. That's what you're doing to your customers. That's how you make your customers feel when you do this. So keep it simple. So too much going on per email. Keep it simple. Simple sells. Having your emails center around one topic, one idea will keep your customers engaged. They'll also better understand what you're trying to sell and why they would benefit from buying it. So to get your email designs to convert better, you need to show and tell, one clear idea, one clear topic. They can follow along better. Keep your email length to a minimum. This forces you to keep it simple. And use simple designs. Don't distract the reader with crazy animations or GIFs or all this other stuff that people feel the need to do because they don't think people read their emails. it will make it hard to consume. Here are some examples. This is a horrible email, and I find that mattress places have horrible emails all the time. But they might convert if you're a freaking mattress company. I don't know. We don't have a mattress client, but these are ugly. I don't read this. I'm looking at the headline here. That's about all I read. Save up to $700. I might click there. I'm not reading reviews. Not in this format. It's just too cluttered. There's not enough white space. Compared to this email, benefits beyond the gut. Save 30%. That's it. That's all they got going on in this section. And then they have the digestive health, gut barrier integrity, gut immune function, get 30% off. So Seed, you should go on Milled and subscribe to their list, or go to their website and subscribe to their list, I should say. They got great emails. Another one is Athletic Greens. Everybody knows them. They're a big brand. They have fantastic emails, and they're very simple, and they use graphics and visuals and icons very well. Number 7, last but not least, this could also be one of the more important ones. When uploading your designs into Klaviyo, you will be defaulted to drag and drop it in your desktop view. And so because of this, most people forget that mobile view is even a thing in Klaviyo. And it causes them to send an email out that they never saw in mobile view. And so at a bare minimum, you need to take a look at the email mobile view in Klaviyo, but you should really be sending yourself a test email, checking it on your mobile device, because Klaviyo's mobile view editor is slightly off sometimes, and you need to be checking it on your device yourself. And so I don't have any examples of this particularly. There was one earlier, but this matters because most people are opening emails on their mobile device, and you can check your recent campaigns to see if yours are being opened more on mobile or desktop. You'll be surprised. And not checking the email and mobile view could lead to a CTA being too low, not in the above the fold section, which is going to kill your click rate, which is going to kill your sales. The text font being way too large or way too small. If they can't read it, they won't read it. If it's too large, they'll skip it because it looks, funky, and your button's probably too low now too. The buttons being too small and not clickable. Sometimes you try to format it differently for mobile view, and then all of a sudden the button's barely clickable, or you kind of can't really tell where it's at. And you're missing sections sometimes. So in Klaviyo, you can show certain design blocks to mobile or desktop or both. Sometimes they will make the email on desktop. One of those blocks will get auto switched to show on desktop only. Then you get received the email on your mobile device, and you're missing a whole half of the email, which leaves you really confused about what the email is about. And this will kill your conversion. So making these mistakes kills conversion rates, since 75% of your opens or more are probably going to be on mobile. That's what we've seen with our clients and the brands that we've audited. So be sure to always send yourself a test email and check it on both your mobile and desktop device. So these are super important, and this is what's going to take you from not converting people with your emails to converting people into repeat customers over and over again through your email marketing. So that's a wrap. I hope this was valuable for you and your team, or your team. Check out the section below if you'd like to see how we can help your brand scale more profitably using our retention marketing strategies. Also, make sure you go to the link in the description, join my newsletter for more tips, or just search thedtcletters.com. I send emails 2 to 3 times a week going over free, actionable advice, guides, training, frameworks, and winning split tests to save you the thousands of hours that it took my team to generate millions through email marketing, email and SMS marketing. So make sure you subscribe there. And you will not regret it. I save all my best content for there. I keep my best stuff. Guides like this, you would have got early access to, and definitely need to be on that newsletter. And then if you are looking for or want a free welcome flow split test, go to our website, book a call, and we can talk to you there. But hopefully this was helpful, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe.